You are standing in a store at $30,000 a year, holding a jacket you like, and you put it back on the rack, though you have the money to pay. Paying for it feels like announcing something you are not yet sure is even true. Everyone around you is making the same quiet calculation in stores exactly like this one. People adjust what they admit to wanting based on what they think they have earned. Nobody talks about it directly. You only watch what goes back on the rack. This is level 1 of the climb, and it has nothing to do with price. At $30,000, the refusal is about safety, and safety is doing all the deciding. You have watched someone spend like they arrived early, and you watched what followed after. So the jacket goes back, and you tell yourself the decision was simply being practical. It was not practical. It was protection, wearing the plainest disguise it owns. Some part of you prefers underdressed and secure over one bad month away from regret. Your roommate buys nearly the same jacket the same week without thinking about it twice. She never mentions the price, and the ease of her decision sits with you afterward. The envy is not about the jacket. It is about how weightless her choosing looked. Refusal at this level is not discipline, whatever you tell yourself in the fitting room. It is the fear of being wrong about your own progress, dressed as good sense. Weeks later you return for something else, and the jacket is gone from the rack. A small, unexpected pang arrives, a preview of a feeling you will meet again later. You watched a version of a decision walk out the door in somebody else's hands. You are at $90,000 now, and the numbers on the newer car fully work. Your advisor has confirmed it twice, and you are still driving the old one anyway. It was never about the payment, and some part of you has always known this. Inside the old car, the wheel is worn smooth, and the dashboard is kept clean. The new car says something out loud you are not ready to say about yourself. Being the person who never upgrades became part of how you know you are you. A neighbor 2 doors down pulls in with something newer, and you catch yourself calculating. You guess at his debt, his loan, his recklessness, because his story needs an error. It is easier than admitting you are only scared in a different direction than him. The thing you refuse to buy is never about the money sitting in the account. It is about which version of yourself you are not yet ready to become. At the annual check-in, your advisor shows the car numbers on a shared bright screen. You nod, agree out loud, and promise to think about it. Exactly like last year. The numbers never changed your mind, they only made the excuse harder to say cleanly. You are at $150,000 now, comfortable in a way once unimaginable. And you still refuse to pay for cleaning, for delivery, for any purchased convenience. The math says the trade wins. $20 against 2 hours of your own life. So you stand at the sink at 11 at night after a 12-hour day. The exhaustion has nothing to do with money anymore, and everything to do with rules. You never agreed to this rule, you inherited it, and you keep paying its dues. A friend who earns less orders delivery twice weekly and hires cleaning once a month. She seems infuriatingly more rested than you, and you decide she is being irresponsible. She is not irresponsible, she simply never installed the rule you keep quietly obeying. Comfort does not remove the rule, whatever the balance says at the end of the month. It only makes the rule more expensive to keep, priced in hours instead of dollars. One Sunday you open the delivery app, fill a cart, and close it without ordering. The store run takes 90 minutes, and the afternoon you wanted quietly disappears with it. You never connect the two, because connecting them would mean the rule cost you today. You run a business now, clearing $300,000 in the years everything goes right. You handle the calls, the scheduling, and 15 small fires every single working day. You have the money for an assistant, and the listing has never once been posted. You tell people you like control, and the sentence is polished from years of use. The truth is the version of you who built this did the whole thing alone. Hiring help means admitting the builder is no longer enough, and you are not ready. One exhausted weekend you draft the job listing, a title and a list of duties. The draft sits open in a browser tab for 6 full days, quietly waiting there. You close the tab without posting it, and closing it is also a real decision. You refuse the help you afford easily, and the refusal is guarding something specific. It was never protecting your time, it protects the story of how you got here. A client casually mentions their assistant handles half of what you still do alone daily. They ask who handles yours, and you laugh it off as being a control freak. The question follows you for the rest of the day, longer than the moment deserved. Net worth sits past $1 million now, and almost all of it lives inside the business. On paper you are doing well, and some months you cannot manage to fully breathe. Everything gets reinvested, and one bad quarter carries the power to take it all down. People assume you would sell a piece, take chips off the table, buy some room. You will not, and the reason has stopped being about the quality of any offer. The business is the only proof you own showing the risk was worth the taking. Every January your accountant sends the same valuation email with slightly more serious numbers inside. You read it standing up, as if standing somehow makes the ignoring easier to do. You reply with the same 4 words as last year: let us revisit next year. The refusal grows more expensive as the numbers grow bigger, year after compounding year. It never grows more rational, and deep down the 3 a.m. version of you knows. Some nights, when an invoice runs late and payroll runs close, you lie fully awake. You run private math about this one specific month going wrong in the dark. At 3 in the morning, the unopened email feels less like an insult, more like a door. You are past 5 million now, and by every reasonable measure you are able to stop. Sell the business, invest conservatively, and live comfortably without earning another single dollar again. You have run those numbers more than once, half hoping they would come out different. You do not stop, and the reason has nothing to do with needing the money. You have never tested who you are without the business attached to your own name. Some part of you fears the answer more than another unnecessary decade of working. At a dinner party, someone asks with genuine curiosity why you are still doing this. You give an answer about loving the work, and it is not exactly a lie. It is not the whole truth either, and you both let the conversation move along. You do not stay because the work still needs you. It stopped needing you quietly. You stay because stopping means finding out who you are when nothing is required. Your parents raise it at a family dinner, half joking, asking when you will rest. There is real love inside the question, and also a version of you it threatens. You make a joke back, everyone laughs, and the question sits untouched another whole year. Past 10 million. An old classmate calls about a fundraiser for a cause you love. At 30,000 you would have given happily, if 50 spare dollars had existed then. Now you hesitate about the size of the gesture, and send less than you hold. You call the amount tasteful, and some quiet part of you knows tasteful is wrong. You are worth more now than you will ever manage to spend in one lifetime. And you walk into an ordinary grocery store the way you did at 30,000. You stand in the aisle comparing 2 nearly identical jars, buying the cheaper from habit. The habit belongs to a version of you for whom the difference once fully mattered. An employee catches you once, laughs kindly, asks why, and you have no real answer. The old answer stopped being about money years ago, and no new answer ever arrived. The habit was never about the price of the jar, not for a long time. It was about staying someone you still recognize when the numbers stop making sense. You are standing in the first store again, holding the first jacket, years and levels later. Behind you, at every dollar amount still unreached, another you is preparing another refusal. Some things never get resolved by the account. They only get more expensive to protect. What is the thing you still will not buy? And what are you protecting?